Active aerodynamics are widely used in the automotive industry. Modern performance cars constantly adjust wings, flaps, ride height and airflow channels depending on speed and driving conditions. At high speeds, the goal is usually to reduce drag and improve straight line efficiency. Under braking or in the corners, the priority shifts to increasing downforce for grip and stability. Now, karting obviously doesn't have moving wings or hydraulic aero systems, but in some way we also do have an active system, it's the driver. In previous video we talked about the traditional duck down technique, when the driver lowers the upper body on the straights to reduce frontal area. We already proved how effective that can be. Recently, I received a message suggesting a new variation of this movement. Instead of simply hunching forward, the driver slides forward in the seat, lowering the helmet, chest and arms while the knees rise higher. At first glance, it looks really promising. By sliding forward, helmet and arm height decreases and chest position lowers. All of these are major aerodynamic obstacles in the karting, which stop go-kart from obtaining speed. But there's one huge advantage. Unlike the traditional tag, this position allows the driver to keep looking forward naturally. In the standard full deck, the driver often lacks visibility. So, the question is simple: which method is actually better? To answer this properly, we built a special 3D model of this new sliding forward position and ran a direct comparison against the traditional tag. At the very front of the kart, nothing surprising happens. The airflow slows down at the bumper, creating the expected stagnation point, velocity decreases, pressure increases. And we see the usual low pressure region under the bumper contributing to the front downforce. Up to this point, both configurations behave the same. The first major difference appears as the airflow reaches the top of the front panel. In the traditional tag, the helmet sits very close to the front panel. The driver effectively blocks the airflow from entering deeper into the cockpit. In sliding forward position case, we notice more controlled pressure distribution. When we switch to 3D view, the difference becomes even more clear. Let's look at the arms first. In the sliding forward position, the arms are angled more smoothly relative to the airflow. We don't create large perpendicular surface to the air to hit. In the traditional tag, the arms are more upright and more perpendicular to the flow. That creates higher pressure zones which directly increase drag. However, sliding forward introduces another effect. The knees rise higher. And yes, on the 3D pressure plot, we do see increased pressure buildup around the knees. This is where aerodynamics become a balancing act. There is no a silver bullet that fixes everything without consequences. To better understand what is going on behind the driver, we need to look at it from above. Viewing the flow roughly at height of 50 cm gives us a clear picture of wake formation. Here, the difference is visible. The sliding forward driver leaves behind a noticeably smaller wake compared to the traditional tag. A smaller wake means smaller low pressure region, pulling the kart backward, and therefore lower drag. Now, let's consider a very common real-world situation. What if the driver performs the traditional tag, but still leaves their head slightly to see the track? This half-duck position is something we see all the time. Aerodynamically, it is almost the spitting image of the full tag case. The pressure distribution remains very similar, the low pressure region above the helmet stays almost unchanged. The only noticeable difference is slightly higher high pressure area at the front of helmet due to the raised helmet position. In other words, once you compromise the full tag, the aerodynamic advantage begins to fade. Now, let's look at the numbers. According to the simulation, the sliding forward method reduces drag by approximately 2%. Compared to the full traditional tag. At first, 2% might not sound like much, but we should not forget that sometimes a whole aero package change in karting decreases drag coefficient by 2 to 5%, so a 2% gain purely from driver positioning is far from being a drop in the ocean. When it comes to lift, both positions are very similar, almost identical with a slight advantage for the sliding forward position. So, which method is better? From a pure aerodynamic perspective, the sliding forward technique wins. It reduces helmet and arm pressure buildup, leaves smaller weight behind, and all in all produces smaller drag. Most importantly, it allows the driver to keep full visibility of the track that improves confidence and safety. However, nothing is fully perfect. There's one particular downside of this case. Sliding forward takes more time. It is not as instant as simply dropping your head in a traditional tag. For short straights, this method might be hard to complete. So while it may not be the ultimate silver bullet for every situation, it's absolutely effective and practical improvement worth testing. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what should I test next time. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next R analysis.